Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fourth and Five podcast. Once again, we are down in the dumps because James Franklin and Sean Clifford like to have their head up their ass. I'm with Robby. I'm with Mo, guys. How are we?
Good,
I'm
feeling
numb.
good feeling good today. I'm feeling better than Mo is, that's for sure.
You're not feeling good,
Um,
Robby. And Mo has no emotions anymore.
his teams have been letting him down over the past week or so. So maybe longer than that. But as far as Penn State is concerned, Penn State football, uh, I feel like we were in the game. Obviously, we were in it for most of the game. I feel like we should be able to handle the teams that we have moving forward. But I'm kind of just in that. I don't know. I kind of just want to go 10-2 and get a good bowl now. I don't really know how else to feel other than that.
I would have rather gotten blown out last week. Really,
Yeah.
like instead of leading with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter and then just completely falling apart at the end, just in typical Penn State fashion. That hurt.
I mean, we should have won that game. We definitely could have won that game. I saw a stat that of the last 9 Ohio State games, we've led in 7 of them, and in 4 of them, we've led in the fourth quarter.
In the fourth,
Oh,
yeah.
great.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say last podcast when we were doing our predictions, I think I said we're gonna lead this game up until the 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and then we're gonna see them get 2 quick scores, and then it's gonna be out of hand because we don't know how to respond to that. And that's exactly what happened.
yeah. It's just tough, man. I just keep trying to tell myself that there's a lot to be happy about this team, which there is. I mean, going into the year, like obviously us as optimistic, we were 9-3, 9-3, 9-3. But Vegas had the over under at 8.5, and over was plus money. People didn't think we were gonna win 9-10 games this year. It's just tough knowing that game was winnable. And then, I mean, not to get away from Penn State football, I mean, that sets up an insane matchup week 12, Michigan, Ohio State. I mean,
This is true.
They're both gonna make the playoff.
if they both make the playoff,
Somehow they both make it.
if they both make the playoff, that poses the question here. Do you take an 11-3 Illinois or a 10-2 Penn State team to the Rose Bowl?
They would do Illinois because they won the West. They would.
Yeah, and we would be the third best team in the
We
East.
we would be. I mean, we'd make a New Year's Six bowl hopefully, but
we'd probably go to the Orange Bowl and
Probably
play
Orange Bowl.
Wake Forest or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think the Rose Bowl would be really cool. I mean, I'm going to be in California, so but obviously that's just
For selfish reasons.
I'm just keep that into existence as much as I can. It is better though. I mean, the first college football playoff rankings came out. We are ranked higher than Illinois. So that I mean that could pay, but you also have to think about money, which is what most bowl games come down to. And they know whatever game they put Penn State in is going to sell out.
Yeah.
So why not put Illinois in the Rose Bowl, because that bowl just sells out because it's the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. A point that I would like to touch on real quick is at what point does Aller start? Is he going to start at all this season?
I think me as well as I would say 95% of Nittany Nation would like to see him start next week.
I think
right?
everybody wants him to start.
I don't think there's anybody outside of the Clifford family or the Clifford, camp that doesn't want to see LR start.
I don't give a fuck. Honestly, I really don't.
I care not about this season because the schedule isn't tough. I care about next season. I care
about next year. Yep.
Because next year.
That brings me to my point. So PSU_strong, shout out my buddy Alec. He put out a tweet and it was true freshman snaps. And for a bunch of the elite quarterbacks like Hendon Hooker, Drake May, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, all of them had 0 snaps as true freshmen. Then there was also two others. Caleb Williams had like 200 some, but he started half the season. And JJ McCarthy had like 69 as a true freshman. Nice. But Drew already has 31, so he's like ahead of the game a little bit. And I think we're overestimating how much game experience matters versus just being in a college program.
It's also the fact that I no longer want to see Sean Clifford play quarterback because
Exactly.
that guy makes my eyes bleed.
Exactly. I was listening to Hardcore Penn State podcast, and they said something that really stood out to me. I think they said, I would rather see Drew go out there and make 4 turnovers than go out there and see Sean go out there, or than see Sean go out there and make 4 turnovers. Like, I would
Because
rather lose. I would rather go into Indiana next week and have Drew start and lose than go in and have Sean come out and like shaky, and then we either win a close game or lose a close game. Like, it's just I'm so sick and tired of seeing him step out into the field. I'm just done with it. Him,
it's
Jonathan Sutherland, and Jake Pinniger, we need to say our goodbyes. They
yeah.
need to leave.
Dude, Clifford, I hate Franklin, but I'm glad that he actually said something where, I mean, obviously it wasn't a shot at Sean because he would never say that, but he said it's hard to beat teams like this when you turn the ball over 4 times. Well, James, who turned the ball over 4 times? Like, it's at the point now, and then he keeps hinting the fact people are like, well, who's going to be the starter next week? Who's going to be the starter next week? Who's going to start for the rest of the season? And he goes, we're going to start the best person available. You're not going to sit Clifford. I know you're not going to, no matter how bad the guy is. And like you said, Rob, if Clifford comes out shaky, that's because that's who he is. He's not good.
Exactly.
Drew can grow from being he can learn from mistakes and such. But Sean can't because he's going to be a grad assistant next year running around the field because he's not going to be in the NFL. He's going to be trying to sell crypto. This guy is not a very good quarterback. He's a crypto salesman playing college football.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude, and he's an average quarterback. He's just never going to be a superstar, and we've given him 5-6 years to try to be that, and he's just not. And I'm sorry. Like, I like the guy, and he's given his heart to the Nittany Nation in the last couple of years, but it's just time to move on. It is, and I feel like he realizes that. I mean, he did ask for a conversation with James, and I know that hasn't happened, but I feel like deep down he knows it's just time to move on.
Yeah. It is crazy because there's a very large contingent of college football programs that would love to have John Clifford as their quarterback. Which
Absolutely.
Problems, but I don't know. Penn State, I mean, we have this vision of excellence that just hasn't really been achieved in quite some time. I mean, obviously you had 2016 Rose Bowl loss, 2017 Fiesta Bowl win, 2018 we lost in the Citrus Bowl, 2019 Cotton Bowl win. I mean, we have 3
we're right there.
Right there.
We're right there.
And
we've been right there
with
for how long though?
Exactly.
With the
7
what's
years.
the common denominator? James Franklin and Sean Clifford.
Yeah. With the expansion, though, we'd still be looking at a playoff team most likely. Like Penn State wins out.
Oh yeah.
Like we're still looking.
We've lost to 2 very good football teams. The one loss
Yeah.
was ugly, and then
I mean,
we should have
Michigan,
won this
yeah.
one. But
Michigan is a damn good football team.
they are.
They're very good. If this year was 12, we would make the playoff. I'm confident in that, in saying that.
All said and done, when the last college football playoff ranking comes out, and we're 10-2, because there's not a losable game. There's just not. Maybe Maryland, but like
I don't think so. Talia's banged up.
I mean,
And they're good. They're a good football team around, but it's at home, so I'm not really.
It's at
worried.
home, and Talia's banged up. I mean, that wide receiving core, man,
Gross.
gross.
So good.
But yeah, back to Ohio State. Just want to highlight some of the. I mean, O'Shanu kid is a stud, and I have seen left tackle play like that. I mean, he was eating up JTT, eating him up, and I think that's something that's underrated is Olu getting hurt. That definitely affected the pressure that Sean was seeing, and definitely aided to a couple of those turnovers.
Yeah.
But seeing such elite left tackle play is such a blessing. I mean, just such a blessing. And it really sucks that he went from being relatively unknown to now he's going to be like the first tackle off the board in the top 10.
To say it's also a curse in disguise too.
But
We're gonna lose him.
I think that's very huge from a recruitment standpoint too, to be like, hey, we just put
Definitely
a left tackle, 3-star guy, and at 19, he was a first round top 10 draft pick. So I think that that says a lot. And I think Effner's played some pretty good snaps. I know he got really eat up at the end there, but I do think he's played some good, valuable snaps. And I do think that the line, as much as we've really shit on it, has improved tremendously.
Oh yeah,
throughout.
100%.
definitely.
And I think with the recruiting classes we have coming up, that it's going to be a strength. And I think that we're going to be able to run the ball a lot better. I thought we ran the ball really well in the first half. It was a lot of, read option stuff, but it didn't well in the second half because Ohio State was just like, we know Sean's not going to run this. And Sean couldn't beat him with his arm. So we kind of stalled out. If we could have manufactured like one more touchdown drive before the onslaught or just one less turnover, I think we're looking at like a Penn State like 31-30.
Yeah.
Along those lines. Like I do think we win that game. And then I think the narrative would be Ryan Day, you're an idiot for going in for it on 4th down with 6 seconds to go in the first half.
I wanted that to bite them in the ass so bad.
I mean, really this game, like it's a game of inches. Like two plays could have changed this game. One being that 3rd and 4 wheel to Katron in the red zone. I just didn't understand that. Like it never really had a shot. I think Yursich was it would just bust coverage, and it didn't happen. That one really hurts because if you can get 7 there, that changes the game. And then, the second Sean pick where he just stared down Katron.
Oh my gosh.
We had trips to the right side and he just stared to the left the whole time. And he never looked right. And I mean,
he literally didn't look at a single other person. He stared Katron out of the backfield and then
stared at him.
It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Right to JTT, who might have had the best game of a defensive player ever.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
He had one of them is a pick 6, a strip sack recovered.
Strip sack.
And then he had the PBU that got swatted up and then picked off.
Should have been his pick, probably, if he would have caught it.
I mean, that fumble was that was the game, the fumble. When we score, we take the lead, and then the first time all game the defense broke down on that 41-yard run by Henderson, Trevion. That was that. And then I was like, all right, maybe we can we've been sustaining drives. Maybe we could get back and get points, go up 1, and then just Clifford poops his pants and fumbles the ball, and that was it. That was really the game.
I mean, strip sack's tough to put on Clifford. Like
I know,
really
but just hold on to the football. Hold on to the football.
Just throwing, like it's tough. I mean, I get it.
I know.
I don't.
But he's not one to sense pressure and move though. He wasn't comfortable in the pocket like the whole game.
At all.
He wasn't good.
Yeah, he had to step up a lot
and making some decent reads. Granted, everything was underneath, and we weren't beating them with his arm, but he was stepping up. He was moving in the pocket. I think Sean played. I mean, he turned the ball over, so that's obviously bad. But I think as a whole, he played a decent game. But he just made too many big time mistakes.
He made 4 bad mistakes. I mean, the first pick.
I'll give him the first one.
First one I'll give to you.
The second one you got to learn from the first one. You got to be able to understand that that's their best player. That's the best defensive player in the country probably, and he's going to jump up. Like I don't understand how you.
He did play fine enough, but you take away he threw for 371 yards, but if you add those 4 turnovers, it's a bad game because we lost. They had 24 points off turnovers or whatever, and we had none. Whatever, I think they had 20. Let's see,
Yeah, overs and we had none.
fumble 3, interception 7, and then they scored off the fumble, and then they scored off the pick 6. So every single time we turned the ball over, they scored 24 points off turnovers.
I mean, our defense was on the field for 10 minutes in the first quarter. 10
Yeah.
minutes.
And they held their
And
own.
that's what happens with this defense. The defense is very good, but when Clifford
They just get worn
and
out.
Yurchich run these plays, they're quick hitters and they run the hurry up and they don't stay on the field. The defense, which is very good, gets very tired because you're on the field for most of the game. And that's what happened
And
on that
you
Henderson
saw that.
touchdown.
You saw
They
that
were
in the
gassed
fourth quarter
in the
because
fourth quarter. They were gassed.
they had 2 possessions of, I think it was like 3 plays and 4 plays. They went 75 yards each on 2 possessions. It was just like our defense is, they're tired.
Yeah, you can't put this on defense. Another play that I want to highlight is that 3rd and 4 where it was like T formation and
Oh, that was on 4th down.
was that on 4th down?
Yeah, that was the when I was screaming and
Are you
the
talking about
first possession of the second quarter when it was 4th and 1, they ran the T and they ran a sweep to Nick on 4th and 1 instead of taking the points.
Oh yeah. Well, if you
They do it again.
watch that, that play almost worked to perfection, except Sal Wormley just got blown up. Absolutely
Awesome.
up. Because if you look like everyone perfect blocking scheme, like if Sal holds his block for it was like the 4th and 5 where like Chase Young just blew it up. That same thing, like it was the right play call, and I hated it at first, but then you watch it. I mean, it was gonna work. Like Nick was gonna score with his speed. It was over, but just one missed assignment. That's the problem.
That's annoying.
Execution.
That's yeah.
It's I mean, I think there's a lot to look at in that game, and I mean, it's tough to be happy when you lose and you have to lead in the fourth quarter, but there's a lot of positives to take away. I mean, Katron ran the ball hard, and
He played really well.
Katron played very, very well. I mean, I really like the way that kid runs the ball, and I think we have a really good 1-2 punch with him and Nick being a home run threat. Yep. It sucks. I thought we were gonna get we might see a world where Parker wouldn't declare, but I think after that,
he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, that was a breakout performance by Parker there.
He played great.
What do you have? 10 for like 160?
11 for 179 and a ton.
Oh wow, he had 11.
I think
he went off.
KLS actually had a pretty nice game too.
He did. He had a tutty.
He only had 2 catches, but he had that nice touchdown.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Sean. I'll give Sean that.
They shut him down for the most part.
Yeah. We got shut down when it mattered. But I mean, it is what it is. You regroup, you move on, you go 10-2. We get a New Year's 6, and you just kind of got to find a way, as James Franklin says, to go 1-0.
We'll go 1-0. Let's go 1-0.
How many times did Barney punt?
Barney didn't have a great game, I don't think.
Barney played wonderful, and I love him.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he's my idol.
I don't think he punted a lot. Let me check.
Another sucks was we kicked the ball off out of bounds. Like I knew.
Oh,
that's a killer.
Barney punted 3 times. Oh, that one touchback was killer. But I guess that can kind of move us into the Indiana game, where now again we're coming off a loss, so you don't know what to expect with this Penn State team coming off a loss. We're going to Indiana. Indiana is not good. They're not
bad.
Good.
But they beat Illinois.
Yeah, week 1. But since then, they've lost 5 in a row. 5 in a row. They lost to Cincy, Nebraska, Michigan, Maryland, and Rutgers.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know they're just not good. I mean, like again, this happened to us last year when we played Illinois. We're at home. We're like, Illinois is not good. It'll be fine. We'll win. And they lost. So.
Yeah, but we're a little banged up on the offensive line, but other than that, we're pretty healthy.
I think their defense is relatively fine.
Their best defensive player has been week to week. I don't know what his name is. Franklin.
Oh, their defense sucks. They're averaging 460 yards a game.
Yeah, they give up like 150 plus on the ground.
Yeah,
for us,
156
good
on the
for us.
ground. So Katron and Nick should eat. Their offense, I don't love. Connor Baselick, the transfer from Missouri, is fine. He's the best quarterback they've had in a couple years because they were always rotating between those two guys.
Since
Since Penix, yeah.
But
Penix is a stud now with Washington.
That's the only time Indiana's ever beat us. This game just doesn't scare me at all. Like at all. Like I really.
That's why it scares me a little bit.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. Yeah.
And you
It
don't want. I
scares
don't
me
want.
because
I
it
don't
doesn't
want.
scare me.
I don't want Mopey Sean come out in the field. Oh, nobody likes me. Oh,
It would be the perfect game for Drew to start. I mean, the run game, get the run game going early and often. Make Drew have some comfortable throws that he knows he can make, and then just go from there. I mean, our defense is going to hold up. I feel like we could win this game with anybody at quarterback. Why not toss him in there? Get him going.
21-7 and have like 10 passing yards.
Yeah.
We just need to run the ball.
Just run the shit out of the ball. Give him a couple throws. Make him throw the ball 10 times.
Is we do have 3 starting offensive linemen who are probably not going to play.
Shit.
That does hinder the run game a little bit.
Tangwell's probably play. I think Norzad got hurt. Well, he's not even a starter, but he's been starting because Tangwell.
Yeah.
And then Olu wasn't practicing yesterday either. Which
Olu's not. Fuck. All right.
Which basically means our entire left side, we're gonna have like third and second string guys.
I looked up Aller on Twitter to see if there's any like news about Aller and Clifford, and it says greatest threat to world peace: Kim Jong Un, Ali Khamenei, Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, Sean Clifford.
I mean, that's accurate.
Funny.
What's the spread? 13
A lot of people want to start 13.5, yeah, which I like. I think it's a good spot. I'm glad it's not like if it was like 6, we're gonna lose.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
14.5
like below a touchdown.
14.5 is a good spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. I haven't watched a lot of Indiana football this year, but it just doesn't. Yeah, it just doesn't scare me really.
I watched the Indiana-Michigan game.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
that's
I did
before we played them.
Yeah, right. Michigan had him on the ropes, or Indiana had him on the rope, but
early
in the ropes. That was when Mike Hart had a seizure on the sideline.
Yeah, right. And then Michigan came out in the second half and just put a whooping on them, didn't they? Because
they just ran the ball down their
throat.
Ran the road, and I think that's all you have to do is establish the run, just run the ball down their throat, play South Big Ten football, win this game 28-7, 28-10. I don't give a shit. Just
you got to win 35
just to win.
Like that.
If we score 28 points, we're good. I promise you that.
I mean, Indiana's not putting up 28 points on our defense. They're just not going to do that.
We just score 28 points. That's
not many teams can put up 28 points on our defense, which is nice.
They're not going to be. I think who has put up 28 points? Michigan, Ohio State. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's what the elite teams are.
And we
beat us, and they scored 40 plus.
Exactly.
But we essentially handed Ohio State
40
a couple points. Yeah,
we handed. We'll say 17 points.
So the fumble, the pick six. Yeah, 17. That sounds about right.
Because one of the interceptions was kind of deep. Ohio State still had to go 65.
Yeah.
17 hours ago, Franklin on naming a starting quarterback. I don't have any announcements to be made, so that means Sean's starting.
Sean's gonna start, but I think we're gonna see a lot of Drew. I really do. I think Sean.
I hope.
I think
Drew gets second half.
I think listen, Sean, go out here take no prisoners. You got half of football to play, and then I need guys some reps.
And I think Sean understands that too. At the end of the day, he knows he's not going to be here next year. He knows we need to look out for the future of our program. Like, if he can go out, get the game started, maybe get us a touchdown, or I don't know, hopefully not fall behind, but and then kind of just accept that mentor role and help Drew out. Honestly, I hope that's what he does, because not many football programs around the country have a average, decent quarterback that's been there for 6 years that can kind of mentor their incoming freshmen and be there for their star. So I kind of like that we have that in a way. It's nice that Drew isn't going into it blindly. He has that mentorship. But again, we need to actually get him on the field and get him some reps, and give Sean the ability to work with him and help him out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's been one of the biggest things that Franklin has stressed in a lot of his pressers, is having Sean to Franklin uses the word superpower. He said Sean's superpower is his preparation and ability to diagnose the blocking schemes, which
it's not him throwing the ball or making a play, that's for sure.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is, Drew has all the arm talent in the world, and I think Sean is a very good mental quarterback. Like, I think
he's very smart. Yeah, if we could just mix the two, we'll be solid.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be something that's kind of flying under the radar. And I think, like, even if Drew doesn't get all the snaps that we really want him to this year, I think we're going to see, like, Drew come out next year, and we're going to see a lot of Clifford in him, in just, like, the pre-snap things, which is going to be a good thing.
Plus, we'll have Clifford on the sideline with a polo on, which will be nice.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, Sean will be there, still coach him up, trying to sell crypto to all the freshmen.
Yeah. Did you see the what's his not JTT Harrison, the other DN that Ohio State has? He's signed to Clifford's NIL agency.
Oh God.
And he had the first pick, so do with that what you want.
They Ohio State gives out the stickers for the helmets, and they gave for this week's performance, they gave JTT 16 stickers. He got
I didn't know you
16
could get more than
stickers for one game.
Jesus,
a lot of stickers.
I mean, that was the best defensive performance we've seen all year, and I don't think it's close.
Dude, to have 2 picks, a pick six, fumble recovery, and a sack in college, like, that's like a great. Like,
I didn't even notice it was all him, like, in the moment.
Neither did I.
I
know.
I was
being in the stadium,
God,
no idea it was him.
And then after, I was like, it was one dude this entire time that was just wreaking havoc.
Yeah, I saw some transfer portal. They put out a graphic of, like, players of the week, and it was him, and it was just the entire bottom was covered with his stats. It was ridiculous.
Well, he had six tackles, 4 for loss, 1 sack, a strip, a fumble recovery, 2 interceptions, a pass breakup and one
could have been a pick,
and a pass breakup that was a pick. Just
watching that pick, and Clifford is literally staring down at Katron, throws the pick, and then he's like, "What are you doing, Katron?" He's like, "You gotta move, bro. You look, you."
Who was behind him? There's someone like 5 yards deeper than Katron on that play, who's kind of open.
Let me
get it. If you can get it over JTT,
it's Parker. Parker's. If you get it over him, Parker's there. Parker's wide open six. Oh my God.
Oh, if that was complete, that screen pass to Parker that he tipped, that would have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
Oh, this one?
That was going to be a touchdown.
The second one that was the pick six?
The second one, yeah.
Yeah, that was a touchdown. I mean, it was set up perfectly. If JTT doesn't play Parker scoring there, and then... Well, then it would be what? So then it's...
Then it's tied up, right?
34. It would have been 31-34 Ohio State.
Oh, okay.
And Ohio State has the ball.
I looked up Sean Clifford.
7 minutes to go. We're down 3 with 7 minutes to go. Ohio State has the ball.
Yep. I looked up Clifford on Twitter. It's just sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Sometimes
that top tweets, and it's just him throwing picks, people saying Sean Clifford is so good, and then other people saying please start Drew.
Please.
So I guess we'll start to wrap this up. Let's get into some predictions for
Yeah.
this week. So we're recording at a way different time today. It's Thursday afternoon.
Usually we're night owls.
Yeah.
But we got stuff to do.
Yeah, we got Phillies game 5 tonight.
Uh-oh.
In person.
Give your first before we do Penn State Indiana predictions, Mel. Give me your prediction for Game 5 of the World Series, since people will be listening to this tomorrow afternoon. Let's see if you're right.
The offense go up early. It's a bullpen game, so that really doesn't. I mean, we got to put up probably 6 runs to win. It's gonna be like a 6-5 type of game.
So you're saying I should take the over?
Probably. With a bullpen.
Cool.
Who's on the bump? Is it Verlander?
It's Syndergaard versus It is Verlander.
Oh, Syndergaard's pitching? Oh no. Verlander, Syndergaard. That's an over, yeah.
That is an over if I've ever seen one in my life.
Yeah, it's an over.
It's gonna be like a 1-0 game now.
So for baseball, it's the over. I guess I'll do my first Penn State Indiana prediction. Like we said, we don't know a ton about Indiana. I know Connor Basic's their quarterback. He's all right. They don't really have a good run game. Their running back is averaging around 4 yards a carry, a little bit less than 4 yards a carry. I think our defense shows up. I think they are going to try to prove a point like they did for 3 quarters of the game last week. Indiana's not going to score. We're going to run the ball down their throats. I think Clifford has a little bit of a bounce-back game first 3 quarters, and then Drew's in. Drew throws a touchdown. I'm going to say we win this game. I'm going to go with 34-14. We win the game by 20.
I was thinking along the same lines. I was gonna also say I think we see Cliff early. I think he starts. I think he plays probably the first half. And then I'm hoping that we see Drew. I'm hoping Sean can get us a pretty good lead, a sizable lead, hopefully 14, 17-7, 14, nothing, something like that. And then we see Drew. Obviously, we need to get our run game going. They are not very good against the run. They are also not great on the run game themselves. So I think our defense will fare pretty well. I don't see them scoring, over 14, 17 points on our defense. I just don't see that happening. So I think if we see Drew come in and handle the run game and make some comfortable throws, I think we see Penn State walk away with, 31-14. I think that's where my head's at. I would like to see. That would make me happy. Nice bounce back.
If they do somehow are able to put up points and score early, we are in trouble.
Screwed.
Let's not
but I hope
expect
that doesn't happen.
Let's not expect
We're
that.
not expecting that. We're not expecting that.
Yeah. It's not our prediction.
We're better than the past. We'll get over that hump.
I hope so.
I hope.
This game is going to be like Rutgers in 2017, where it was like where Rutgers hadn't scored on us in like 4 years.
Yeah.
We're going to go immediately fumble.
No.
We're going to go on 3-0, but then we're going to win 38-3.
Yeah.
Clifford fumbles?
It'll be scary the first 3 possessions, and then we'll just run away with it.
Every first quarter, I want to start crying because you never start out hot.
We should have been down a lot more to Ohio State to start that game.
Yeah, shout out that missed field goal. That was big.
Yeah.
Also, shout out jumping.
Yes, I was just gonna say, can we
Field
finally make the transfer over to Sadehek? I'm so sick of seeing Jake Penner trot out there.
Oh my Lord! The kick that got reversed twice and they went for it on 4th down. I couldn't watch. I was hiding behind you, Robby.
I know.
I was like,
know.
no,
I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, that was rough. Also,
with him.
Katron, on that 4th down where we went for it and ended up scoring there. Eichenberg, who's a semifinalist for the Buckus, had him wrapped in the backfield, and Katron said, and no thank you, and got into the end zone. So
I love Katron.
I love Katron a lot. I do too. I think
Yeah.
I feel like
Next year's
I feel
the
like
year, boys.
I feel like
Next
Singleton
year's
was
the year.
I feel like Nick was hitting his holes with more convictions this week. Like I feel like he was actually trying to get more upfield
Yeah, I
and
thought
just trying to break one on the outside.
Yeah, he was a little more north-south rather than
Yeah.
east.
Nick. I mean, he
Which
only
was
had
nice.
45 yards, whatever it was. I thought Nick played really well. I thought
Yeah.
that
He,
he was better
he had
than
that one back stop where he was
Yeah,
He
already
did.
killed.
yeah, he was
But
gone.
But that's all right. We'll clean those
But
up. We clean that up at practice.
he's a freshman, and I just think that those two are such complementary backs that
I love it.
They're boys
I love
too,
it
which
so
is
much.
huge.
Yeah.
they're so complementary that I
Both my football teams have two amazing backs in the backfield, and neither one of them knows how to use them.
Yep.
Brutal.
Browns looked all right on Monday. Yeah.
That is our show. Thank you for listening and watching. Like, subscribe on YouTube. Repost, like, subscribe to us on SoundCloud. We'll be back next week. Hopefully we beat Indiana. We are.
Go State.